Alright,
Can
so
I just say that's the best Sega logo shout ever?
the Psycho Sega.
Psycho Sega.
Yep. I guess the first really big question that I need to ask you is, what compelled you to volunteer to run this game for the Sonic-thon?
Because oddly enough, it's one of the Sonic games I have actually played the most. And I felt that I would be the one most experienced to do it. And I got kind of a hidden respect for this game, in a way. Like, I know it's bad, but I just can't bring myself to hate it entirely. Alright, anyway, let's
Very interesting.
Let's go ahead and get the story started, because we all want to know what the story is. Flickies are mysterious birds. They live in another dimension and can travel anywhere and through large rings. And for some reason this takes absolutely ages to transition.
Well, this game's gonna be played by like 8-year-olds.
What do you mean? 8-year-olds don't have that kind of time on their hands. They want action, damn it.
But I like how Flickies have gone from just teeny little animals to interdimensional beings.
Yep, they have a lot of power behind them, that's for sure. It's like, hey, these Flickies are a bit underpowered. Maybe we should just give them the power of interdimensional travel. Yeah, because that won't go wrong at all.
These are probably the most intimidating badniks I have ever seen. Ever.
Oh yeah, man. There's so much badnik variety in this game. Ignoring the fact that they're reusing lots of them throughout the end of the game. But, you know.
This screen right here reads like a fanfic, I swear to God.
That's pretty much the definition of this entire story.
Yeah, story-wise, everything, ugh.
Well, anyway. Now we must chase after Robotnik and defeat his plans. So, let's get straight to that.
Flickies.
And with that...
Or something like that.
And with that, we start with the first zone. Let's go! Gotta go fast, except we can't because this is a fetch quest on steroids. Now,
you can run.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, not so much run, but waddle. Alright, so for those of you who are not familiar with the game, the object of the game is not actually to reach the goal as quick as you can. You actually have to go around and find all these Flickies before you progress through each stage. And they are all hidden within these badniks. There are 5 in all, so you have to find those all, go to the next part of the stage, repeat it maybe once or twice, and then after that you complete the zone. Fairly simple.
I'm so glad you just explained this game because, while you said you have experience, I pretty much only saw this game yesterday. Listened to the soundtrack for the first time yesterday, because I realized, oh wait, I gotta talk about this game. I should, maybe know something about it.
It does help. So,
yeah.
One thing I should mention is that the special stages in the Genesis version and in the Saturn versions are actually completely different. As you can see, the Genesis version is more like a moving track, and the idea is to try and get 150 rings by the end. And in the Saturn version, it's actually a lot like Sonic 2, except it doesn't have local fox that ruins everything. Which makes it infinitely better and is probably regarded as the best special stages that utilizes the half-pipe in the whole franchise. So make of that as you will.
And where would you rank this bridge special stage?
I give it a 4. Probably a 5 on Newgrounds.
Because I always hear people praise the Saturn version, and it's like, even when they're playing the Genesis, they're talking about the Saturn version. It's like, okay, but what do you guys think of the Genesis one? Like, I don't think I've ever heard an opinion on that other than, oh, it's not the Saturn version. Now allow me to talk about the Saturn version some more.
I think the problem was it was a bit too easy. The Saturn stages, they look nice, it has a nice system, whereas this one you're just sort of running forwards and that's it. And the stages don't necessarily present much challenge. So I guess that's why the Saturn version are more acclaimed than the Genesis versions, just because they're easy and it's not really worth talking about. One thing that is worth talking about is I also believe this game has the very first iteration of the homing attack, with what I am calling the Dimp Shield. It's a shield that gives you the homing attack. And it is incredibly OP.
But does it make you fall into bottomless pits?
No, that's another thing about this game, actually. There's absolutely no bottomless pits. You do get pitfalls, which can take you to a earlier part of a level, but there's no cheap death mechanics. Anything that happens is your fault, except everyone blames the controls like a normal person.
So how can you die in this game? Another very important question.
Mostly by not having enough rings, and also dying to frustration if you happen to lose a flicky and you're spending half your hour finding it.
Ah, okay.
So there we go. First zone, nothing too apocalyptic.
So not only is it a fetch quest, but if you get hit, you gotta regather your fetchies.
Yep. Anytime you get hit, your flickies will scatter everywhere, and the flickies themselves have different walking patterns. So your blue flickies will generally go around in circles, purple flickies will do much the same, the red flickies will bounce around in about the same spot, and the green flickies will be right little bastards and just go anywhere that they want to go. And by far the most...
They probably enjoyed being within a bad name. It's like, no, Sonic, put me back.
Wasn't there a Sonic Shorts thing that touched up on that?
You tell me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in
3D Blast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Sonic Shorts there was a animation where Sonic rescued a flicky or something similar from a badnik, and it was puking up everywhere and everything. So the idea is that you're assuming the badniks are putting them on life support or something. I don't know. It was really disturbing.
That reminds me of a Dorkly bit that it's a weird amalgamation of all the sprites and whatever, but Sonic gets to the end of the level capsule, and he opens it, and he's like, be free, and then all there is just one flicky and a pile of bones.
That sounds
like,
about
God.
right.
It's hilarious, he's like, oh god, we didn't know if you were coming or not.
Oops.
And so
Ignore that happened. Oh, shit. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. How embarrassing.
That's never happened before? Classic marathon line?
Yep. Another thing about this game is that Robotnik thought it would be a hilarious idea to put landmines everywhere. And these landmines can be very, very annoying. Because you have to get right up close to them to explode, and if you're at just the wrong angle, you're mulch.
Dang. So, pretty much, the badnik that isn't running on flicky power is the most dangerous.
Yep, pretty much. Anything that is not a badnik in this game is actually the most dangerous thing in this game. So the laser turrets, let's see what else here, the landmines, stage hazards, that sort of thing. All of those are significantly more dangerous than almost any other badnik in this game, except for Panic Puppet, but we will get to that one in just a moment.
Then what's even the point of putting the flickies in the robot if they're just gonna end up being the weakest part of your army?
Yeah, pretty much. You could have just filled the entire stage with landmines and been absolutely fine. You know, maybe throw a claymore or two in there for good measure.
Yeah, so was Eggman like, hey, these flickies can jump dimensions, maybe if I put them in my robot can jump dimensions, and if that's the case, then why is it that they're still just pretty much standing around?
Yeah, I never understood why...
Fashion.
I never understood why Dr. Robotnik didn't just take the flicky power and say, okay, I'm just going to conquer every alternate interdimensional reality there is. You know, screw Sonic, I'm just going to take over as many worlds as I possibly can.
He's gonna pull a funny Valentine. What the hell?
I know, right? Alright, now that I'm actually paying attention to these special stages, they shouldn't be too hard at all. One thing I should note, actually, is that you can find Tails and Knuckles in each act of each zone, and as you may notice, the Tails ones look a bit different, not just because of the background. And the Tails stages are generally considered a little bit harder than the Knuckles stages, so generally you want to try and find the Knuckles stages before the Tails ones. But yeah, another thing I don't understand, why are they stealing your rings? I never understood that. It's just like, hey, I'm just going to take all of your rings, and I'll maybe give you a special stage.
Because they're fake friends. They're only in it for the adventure, and then once Sonic decides to leave them behind, then they stab him right in the back.
It's harsh being Sonic sometimes.
I know, having fake friends.
So do we have any donations yet? Or are we still sitting pretty where we are?
nothing yet so far today, so I guess now would be a good time to remind everyone of what are some things that you can donate for. I mean, first of all, you can donate to better your own life by helping children, as all of our donations do go to Child's Play, which is a charity foundation that provides video games, toys, activities, what have you, anything that could make a child smile, and provides those to children's hospitals across the country to pretty much make stays in hospitals more manageable for children. And so, that's the first thing you can donate for, is that you can help the kids. But in addition to that, you can also donate to some of our incentives. We do have a Sonic Rush Run where you can choose between playing as Sonic or playing as Blaze. We also have our Sonic Hero Run where you can choose one of the 4 stories: Chaotic, Dark, Rose, or Sonic. Pretty much if you want to donate to that, that is entirely up to how much are you willing to make N-Tom suffer for us.
Well, some that are arguably suffering more than him. I mean, Johnny did just get his incentive met for the red rings in Sonic Lost World, after all. That's gonna be interesting, to say the least.
And one more, and not to toot my own future horn, but I will be doing a Sonic Battle Run, and if we reach a 500 donation goal, I will do the challenge mode on the maximum difficulty.
Punishing yourself for the kids. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yep, anything for the kids.
Anything.
Well, not. I won't do that.
Well, luckily it's only Johnny that's doing that, so you're safe.
Good, good.
Uh,
Like I said, I actually only listened to the soundtrack last night, a little bit this morning, and I gotta say that there were 2 Eggman themes. The first one was really, really good.
Oh, which one was that? Was that the every other zone, or is that from the first zone, third zone, fifth zone, etc.?
I believe it's the one from First Zone.
So the one that was just playing.
Yes, correct. The one that doesn't loop like every 5 seconds.
I actually prefer that one. So this is Rusty Ruin Zone. I kind of like this stage, although my only gripe with it is that they made Tails and Knuckles ridiculously hard to find in Act 2. If you thought a hunt for Sonic and Tails normally was bad enough, in this stage it's so difficult. They just hide them in the most obscure places you can possibly imagine. I actually had to look up an FAQ in order to find out where Tails was in the second act of this zone. And it turns out you have to do a spinny thing on the 3rd section, go back to the 2nd section, find a pillar and blow it up, and that unleashes a hole, and then you go down that and you find Tails.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I know, right? It's insane how well they hid that fox.
So would you say then that the difficulty of the special stage is not really within the stage themselves, but rather accessing them?
I would say accessing them and also the controls can make life fairly difficult. They're not exactly the sharpest controls in the world, and anybody who has played this game themselves will know that. I don't know, it just feels really stiff for some reason. Like, you come down so fast and you're... Say like I was going to try and jump to that 3rd square there. It's ridiculously hard to time it sometimes, and more often than not it just results in you falling down. But once you get used to it, you can overlook it, but it is very, very hard to get into if you're just playing this game for the first time.
So would you say that, would it be possible for someone to master this game? Like, if they were to work really hard at getting used to the controls,
I would say
is
so.
it even possible, or is the game, are the controls just so far broken that you're never gonna get any better at the game?
I would say if you're a perfectionist, you should probably stay away from it, but it is definitely possible.
Okay.
I've seen speedruns done of this game, both any percent and 100%, and it's very easily doable. It's just that you've got to be aware that you're going to be fighting against the controls a lot more than the actual game itself. But as long as you can go through that, then generally you can go through this game reasonably quickly.
Okay, okay. So what can you tell me about the shields?
Yes.
I see you're now a giant fireball. So
Yes.
what's up with that, bro?
Yeah, so we've already been through the Dimp Shield, which, as we can tell, is the homing attack. This one's the Fire Shield, so it acts like a regular shield, except you're immune to fire, lava, all that juicy stuff. So it's great for this zone, and it's also great for Volcano Valley, which lets you just walk along lava like it's nothing.
Okay.
And there's another shield which its use isn't made known right away, but it actually gives you lightning immunity. So anything lightning based will just phase right through you. And you don't really realize that until Gene Gadget, I believe.
So
Alright.
lasers aren't considered lightning based?
No, they aren't. They're considered a normal attack, which is something you gotta
What
be.
a rip-off.
Yeah, I know. I was honestly expecting it to do so, and then I tried it one day. I lost my shield, and I lost all faith in humanity.
Oh no.
And that is why I'm playing this game now. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. It's for the kids. I can definitely play this for the kids. So there we go. You gotta go through there. It's a twirly thing, and you get to Knuckles. And you carry on twirling when you see him. So Knuckles is just looking at you, thinking, "What the hell are you doing?"
Sonic's practicing his pirouette. He's got to spin to win.
Spin to win, spin to win. Demacia! No, wait, wrong game.
Oh god, we weren't. When we said spin, we didn't mean like that, Sonic. Not like that. Right, so,
Ben Knuckles is just
yeah.
jealous of Sonic's fancy dance moves. It's like, I wish I could be that nimble. No, instead I have to be built like Beefcake. Shoutouts to Sonic Boom.
Yeah, so we talked about the difference between the special stages.
Yes.
Between Saturn and Genesis, and I got full view of chat wondering, like, which version are we playing? Other than the special stages, are the games really that different that there's such a huge divide depending on which version you play?
Honestly, no. The only difference is that the graphics are a little bit different, like there's some color changes and things like that, and apart from that, it's also the music difference. Some people prefer the music in the Saturn version. I personally prefer the Mega Drive version because Diamond Dust Zone is some of the best piece of music I have ever listened to.
Yeah, when I was listening to both of them, like, I knew the music difference. I wasn't like trying to just string you along with that question. I was just wondering if there was anything else.
Oh, no.
But-
It's a perfectly legit question. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. But honestly, there's not much difference. I mean, the special stages are different. You get a slightly different look to it. The music's a bit different. But apart from that, it's all the same.
Got it. But when I was listening to the Genesis soundtrack, it sounded there were a lot of songs and sound effects that seemed to have been like straight from Sonic 3.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I think I would agree with that. But I like the variety more than anything else, and the whole soundtrack is generally quite happy. Well, except for maybe the final stage, but...
Yeah, because the Genesis version sounded like a stereotypical Sonic Genesis soundtrack. Like, if I hadn't heard, like, if I wasn't looking at the video and I was just listening to the music, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably from a Sonic game. But when I was listening to the the Saturn version, there was a lot of different styles. Like, Rusty Ruin sounds like it sounds like a low grade song in Nier or anything from the Dragon Guard, because it tries to have like vocals in the back. And it
Yeah, I
just
see
gave
what
me
you
that
mean.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit weird like that. Alright, Knuckles is actually in here, but we don't have to pirouette through the door this time. We just go, "Hey Knuckles, how you doing?" Yeah, I got a whole bunch of flickies surrounding me.
I like
like-
how
He's
50
swimming in
rings are
birds.
required. 50 rings are required, but he'll just take all your rings.
Yeah,
the hell?
I'd like to be sure. As for, yeah, even if it doesn't matter how many extra rings you have, he will always take all of your rings. So if you had 120 rings, he'll take 120. If you only have 50, he'll just take the 50. But another thing worth mentioning is after you beat the special stage, if you had a shield, you'll lose that. You'll have 0 rings, and any ring and television and things like that that you would have picked up will actually reset. So basically the entire level resets itself. So if you can remember what extra lives are after doing a special stage, you can actually go back and grab them again. So that's a nice cheap way of getting extra lives for you there. So anybody watching, there's a tip for you. So we're over halfway on the emeralds now. And we're only on Act 2, so we are well on course for getting these before Diamond Dust is over. Obviously I missed one, so there'll be a minor setback.
Okay, so is this one of those games that has not 7 Chaos Emeralds, or?
No, this game has 7, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it's just Sonic 1, I think there's a couple more games that only have 6 emeralds for some weird reason. I'm sure there's a story behind that, but I can't remember off the top of my head, honestly.
Okay, and then there's a Knuckles and Tails. Is it for every, like, leg of a level?
Yeah, it's every act. So there's always going to be a Knuckles and Tails in Act 1 and Act 2 of every zone. Obviously not Act 3, because that's the boss level.
Okay, so then... Okay, I kind of like that, because it allows you to get all of the emeralds, I guess, pretty early on.
Yeah,
Like
you can get, if you tried hard enough, you could get all the emeralds before you even finish with Rusty Ruin. But for the sake of preserving sanity, I tend to avoid getting the ones in Rusty Ruins, except for Knuckles, because Tails is just so far out of the way, it's just not worth it. Oh, by the way, that pillar right there, you go down the hole that ends up there when you destroy it, and that's where Tails is. So you've got to go quite far out of your way just to get him.
Okay. Because I was just wondering, like, Sonic games have always been kind of different and weird on how they pace, like, emerald acquiring.
Yeah, I would agree with that. With this one, honestly, it's not so bad. I mean, as long as you can keep your rings long enough to get to Tails or Knuckles, you got plenty of opportunities to actually complete the special stages. And I quite like that, honestly, and it helps that the special stages themselves aren't too tricky. So you don't necessarily have to be a very skilled player to actually see the bonus stage for getting all the emeralds, which is quite fine because, frankly, the controls can make it a very frustrating and difficult game to play your first time going through. So there's a bit of ease of access there. Oh! Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. If you look... Oh, no! See, that was what I was talking about. Sometimes the flickies will just go anywhere they want, and... yeah, if you lose one, you could be looking for ages just back. Sometimes it's just worth killing yourself, just to reset all the bandits again and just look for them again.
You make funny noises when you play video games.
I do. Anybody who knows me for long enough will realise this in due time. My best friend and I play Diablo 3 a lot, and yeah, the noises make quite a lot of appearances, especially during close encounters with elites.
Nice.
Alright, so, with this boss, I am going to try and do a particular trick. Now, this could work. If it doesn't, the boss will take a little bit longer than before.
Oh, snap. Time-saving tricks.
3, 4... Ah! Not quite. But I had the trick down. Let's try again.
Dang.
Oh, again? Okay, one more time.
My faith in humanity is dwindling.
Okay, I'll take 3 hits. I'm not gonna get greedy anymore. But yeah, if you do that right, you can defeat the boss in 11 seconds.
Nice.
But there we go. Wasn't perfect, but I managed to show it off at least, so you know how it's done. So yeah, 22 seconds obviously could be better, but if you can do that trick off, then you save a lot of time. I had to show it off just because it's one of the few things about this run I'm particularly proud of. I'm not pro at speedrunning by any stretch of the imagination, but if I can show off a trick or two, then I'll give it a go. Now, death isn't exactly too inconvenient. There's plenty of lives scattered around here and there, so losing a couple here and there doesn't bother me too much. It's all for the kids as well, so...
Speaking of the kids,
Ooh!
got some donations to read out.
Oh, lovely. Do go on.
Alright. Sorry. I was like, I have them! I swear to God, I had them! Okay, here we go. We got $2. It says, I have enjoyed your guys' stuff for years, both Brain Scratch and Hellfire Comps, and I hope to be a part of the Brain Scratch crew as possible in the future. You'll have to talk to them about that.
Yep, as far as I'm aware, they're not accepting applications just yet, but, you know, just keep yourself there, play your cards right, you never know what happens later down the line. I had the same feelings about Hellfire Commentaries, and I never thought in a million years that I would be playing this game on the Hellfire Commentaries livestream for charity. So, just goes to show you, anything can happen.
Yeah. And plus, with today's commentary economy, people are leaving their jobs, losing their jobs, and then we're hiring new blood all the time. Right, more donations to go through real quick.
Excellent.
We got a $10 donation from Unknown. Says, glad to be given to one of my favorite commentators on the internet for charity. Keep on going, guys. Another $10 from Unknown. This one going to The Dark Story, Sonic Heroes.
Ooh. Isn't the race between Dark and Chaotix quite close still? Because I'm personally banking on Chaotix. I have a guilty pleasure for Chaotix. I love them.
Do you want that to be your runner's choice?
Yeah, any runner's choice, put it towards Chaotix.
Chaotix, okay. Well, at the moment, Sonic Heroes Chaotic is at 124, Dark 148. So very close. Followed very far by $26 for Sonic and $10 for Rose. I don't get it, guys. Do you guys just not want to see more Big the Cat in this marathon?
No, they had enough of him in SA1, clearly.
Alright, we got $15. Says, John here, Snakes Games on YouTube. I sincerely apologize I can't donate more as I am currently unemployed. Well then, we thank you even more for your generous donation.
Indeed. Honestly, it doesn't matter how much or how little you give. Just giving, showing your support on the stream, sharing it, anything helps, and honestly, we can't thank everyone who's donated enough, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem. It all makes a big difference at the end of the day, so thank you very much.
And then the last donation in this little block here, we got $10 from Unknown. It says, morning donation from San Francisco, so from City Escape. It says, good luck, guys.
Thank you very much. I'll attempt to kick ass for the kids. And so far we're doing a good job. We got 5 Chaos Emeralds, just 2 more to go, and we don't have to bother with Knuckles and Tails stealing our hard-earned loot ever again.
I mean, you did fail a speed trick, but...
Okay, I got it kind of right, I guess, but yeah.
Okay.
It could have gone way better.
I'll get over it.
Yeah.
Time.
Yep. Tell you what, if I got enough time at the end of the stream, I'll attempt to redeem myself.
You better.
I'll give it a good go.
Okay, good. Yeah. Wow, I kind of just realized now that all the levels are alliterations, but isn't that like in every? No, not in every. How many Sonic games have alliteration stages?
That's a good question, actually. I'd like to know that personally. Right, so I missed a couple of flickies.
We got this. We got CD, and I don't know. That's all I know.
Yeah, I think a lot of the early games had that theme going for them, but certainly not all of them. But I would wager a lot of the classic games do.
Ah.
Let's see here. We gotta find these last 2 flickies. I think they're down here.
How many emeralds you got again?
I have 5.
And this one is a 6 emerald game or 7 emerald game?
It is a 7, so we just need to find Tails and Knuckles 2 more times.
Got it. What is the significance of a Barracuda in this game?
Barracuda?
Yeah.
Well, there's a pufferfish. I'm not entirely sure about a Barracuda, but I could be wrong. I don't pay much attention to the Bandits, to be honest. I just crushed them.
Apparently in this Genesis version, you can input BA, right, up, C, up, down, A, and that gives you the level select screen.
Yep.
And then those inputs, you know, B-A-R-A-C-U-D-A spell out Barracuda.
Ah! I did not notice that the first time, honestly. Oh, good catch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have impressed me.
I know this game, or rather, I can look on a Wikipedia page.
Well, that's a good way to remember it, though, I guess. Because, you know, everybody can sort of remember up, down, left, right, A start. But, you know, having just something like, oh, hey, the cheat is Barracuda, and just like, oh, okay.
And that in Konami code, pretty much. And then, you know, codes that are actual words or phrases.
Oh yeah, there's another pro tip for this. The spikes on the floor, they protrude out further the longer you stay on the platform. But if you keep jumping, the spikes never actually come out. So if you just keep jumping, you shouldn't get spiked at all.
Nice.
Sometimes you might get unlucky, but apart from that, just keep jumping, you'll be fine.
Unlucky or dicked over by controls? Because at this point, it seems to be the same.
Yeah, it's a little from column A, a little from column B, honestly. And the holes in the ground are spears. You don't want to go near those. They will kill you.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot harder to avoid than the spiky floors, so try and stay away from those if you can, but there is one bandit coming up that's literally right in the middle of a lot of those, so we're going to need to play it very carefully during that point.
So, these levels kind of give me a Sonic 1 vibe. I mean, you had your Green Hill, again, zone, and then you had Ruins, followed by lots of springs.
Yeah, they do have similarities, but then the similarities end up until 4th stage, because Sonic 1 doesn't have an ice stage, and then of course you've got the lava level, then you got a level that resembles Scrap Brain, so it kind of comes back again full circle.
Okay, so the levels are what a Sonic Remastered would have.
I would say so.
Q.
I quite like the music here, though. It's very happy. I mean, it kind of helps that my family is very performance and circus orientated. Like, my sister's actually on a circus tour around Britain at the moment, so that's kind of cool. So,
Dude, that's sick as hell. That is the coolest thing ever.
yeah, I can safely say I have a sister who ran off to join the circus and be absolutely serious about it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, she was actually doing some ring mastering yesterday, I believe, and apparently she did a great job, so shouts outs to her.
Nice. Can I read donations?
Yeah, absolutely. This special stage is pretty much Dunny-toed, so go for it.
Wait, hold on. Was this a Tails or a Knuckles special stage?
This was a Knuckles one. The funny thing is, Tails and Knuckles are actually standing in the exact same place, so if you want to get another emerald, you actually have to collect a whole bunch of rings again and then go back. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait until Diamond Dust Act 1 and just grab the last emerald from there.
Okay, because I wanted, if this is the last time we see Knuckles, I just wanted to let everyone know that this is the second game where his socks are the wrong color. No, they're blue instead of green! I don't know.
I think they were at that time where they couldn't quite decide on Knuckles' design. So they were kind of trying a couple of different things, and then eventually they just stuck with one.
Okay.
That's my nearest guess. It could be completely wrong, for all I know.
Well, palettes back then, you couldn't have too many colors on the screen or your console would explode.
Yep. Too many colors.
So
the colors do
as I
not
was
feel
saying-
so right.
You don't! But you wanna know what feels right? Do you wanna know what feels oh so right?
Oh, do go on.
Donations.
Oh, yes. Alright, so what we got then?
$5 from Unknown says, while I never get past Act 1 on the second stage of 3D Blast when I last played it last year ago, I did have fun with the 3 levels I played, but I might play a bit of 3D Blast later. Good luck with 3D Blast, guys, from That Damn Hedge.
Oh yeah, we're gonna run that hedge to the ground, man. We're gonna work him hard and we're gonna work him fast. Wait, that sounded completely wrong, ignore that.
But more importantly, are we going to work him to death?
We're gonna work that sucker to death. I mean, come on now, was it really that much of a surprise?
$2 from Unknown says, I have enjoyed this marathon a lot so far. Keep up the good work in the end, from Lindaru.
Oh, thank you very much, Lindara. I've seen you in the chat quite a bit, so I very much appreciate your donation. Alright, so this is what I was talking about with this spiky thing. I'm actually going to wait and see if his Flicky sort of corrects himself, and there we go. Whew, that could have gone disastrous.
Oh, that damn edge. My bad.
Okay, we've missed one. He's still going to be there somewhere, isn't he? Oh, it's the fucking green bastard again. The bane of my existence is that bloody green Flicky. Get back here! We will have none of that here. No, sir.
You will get rescued, and you will like it.
If you think local fox is bad, try local green Flicky. He will ruin your entire evening. And
Local
won't even
green
feel
Flicky.
bad.
Local Green Flicky gives no fucks about ruining Run.
No, he does not. Alright, third boss is kind of tricky. You gotta try and hit him from the back, because trying to hit him from the front's a bit difficult, just because, frankly, the hitbox for the front when he's flailing his arms about is huge. But luckily it gives you plenty of time to hit him. Then what you can do is you can jump up here, and then try and get a free hit on him. But if you want to play it safe, you can just do this. Just stay on the low ground.
And He doesn't, like... How far is the reach on those hands?
It's pretty damn far. I mean, the hitbox is pretty much the entire arm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because it seems like this is trying to be, like, big arm, but I guess he had the budget constraints. Like, you know what, just little pluggy hands. That works, right?
Spiky hands are deadly. You don't want to be too close to those. Oh, I say that and I ran straight into them. But I think I think he's nearly dead, so 1 or 2 more hits should do it. See if we can get him from here. Nope, not quite. Come on, get down here. Oh, maybe one more hit.
What do you think of these just arena against a giant robot sort of boss fight format?
I quite like it, to be honest. I mean, especially since in this stage there's actually a way that you can get it to go down a lot quicker. Not all stages utilize that, but that's one example that does, and I quite like it, honestly. It ain't so bad, although it does get a bit samey after a while. Okay. And this is my favourite soundtrack of the entire game. I absolutely love Diamond Dust Zone. It is so good.
Dude, I'm kind of partial to the Chronicles version myself.
You get out of here with that nonsense, boy.
I haven't even heard it, so I don't even care. I just know that that's a joke.
The less said about Sonic Chronicles, the better, although we are actually going to be playing that soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the Sonic games that are coming up in the Sonic-a-thon. Let's hype all of them up.
Yeah, Sonic Chronicles is going to be a completely different beast. I will admire Tom for both playing that game and any viewers who are able to sit through it without wanting to stab their eyeballs out with a spoon.
I'm quite disappointed that for a level called Diamond Dust Zone, they didn't actually program Diamond Dust.
Well, it's meant to be the whole thing about ice, isn't it? I mean, Shiva's attack is Diamond Dust, but she doesn't typically spew out diamonds, does she?
No, but you know what Diamond Dust is, right?
Not entirely, no. Are you gonna lay some trivia on me?
Yeah, it's frozen fog. It only occurs in certain locations though, but pretty much think of fog where some of the particles within the air have actually frozen. So it's not necessarily snow, but frozen fog.
That's kind of cool.
I know, I've seen it before and it's hella cool. It's cold though, and it's really painful to be outside in. But I'm always disappointed when you see Diamond Dust, but it's not even snowing. Really?
Yeah, unfortunately in the southwest I don't necessarily get much snow, so the salt just dissolves it all before it even gets anywhere. So unfortunately I don't get very many snow days.
Neither do I, but that's just because it snows all the time, so we just get used to it.
It's no big deal for you anymore then.
No, not anymore. It's like, oh hey, we got 3 inches in this blizzard. Well, guess I'll be wearing an extra pair of socks today.
It's like the people who live in really hot climates as well, I guess.
Oh, that's like, I don't get how people can handle even like the minutest amount of humidity. I don't get it. It's like, I can feel the air. How do you live here?
I got that when I actually went on holiday in the Dominican Republic. I was struggling for a good few days trying to figure out just how do you survive? And eventually I found that the answer to that question is an unlimited supply of fruit punch. So, hooray for all-inclusive.
Are those fire hydrants?
No, they're meant to be lasers.
Oh, the non-electric lasers.
No, they just freeze you.
Uh...
I don't think they actually damage you, although I don't want to really find out if I'm completely honest. I just learned to state anything that points a gun towards your face.
Yeah, apparently all of the chat is saying you should try it and get hurt. Yep, so, gonna have to do that.
I'll see if I can, but I'm gonna focus on getting this last emerald first, and then I don't have any obligation to keep any of these rings.
Yeah, no, don't do that. I was just messing with you.
Thank God for that. Free, free, free! Is that an omen for Sonic 3 and Knuckles later on in the marathon?
Oh, okay.
Actually, speaking of omens, about a couple of weeks before the Sonic-a-thon, I got back home from work, and right at my front door were 2 hedgehogs.
I
And
remember
apparently-
you post. Remember that?
It was kind of awesome. Apparently they've been living underneath my front doorstep, and they were just there waiting for me when I got back from work one day, and put them in a box for a while, put them out in the back garden, and as far as I'm aware, they are still there.
And you didn't invite them into your run?
They're there. They're supporting from the outside. I've left the window open for them.
Okay, that's good, because I was going to say, this could be the very first run in the Sonic-a-thon with Hedgehog co-commentary.
I don't think they're too talkative, to be honest. I mean, they grumbled a bit when I tried to pick them up, but you know, they're temperamental little things, honestly. Okay, I might be able to get enough rings here to get the last special stage. So
And
let me
then
just.
you fly around with back control to Supersonic, right?
No, unfortunately, there is actually no Supersonic in this game.
What?
Yeah, that's the only disappointing thing. There was somebody who hacked the game and actually made a Supersonic sprite. That looks kind of awesome, but no, there's no Supersonic stage. When you get all the emeralds, after you defeat what is the technical last boss, you get transported to a bonus stage, and that contains the very last boss of the game. Alright, here we go. Last special stage hype. Let's do this thing! For the kids!
Don't die.
I'll try not to. I appreciate your concern. This one actually goes way, 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 way fast.
Just gotta build up that tension. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. We're doing good. Doing good.
Oh baby.
Usually anytime I just see a spiky ball remotely placed to me, I just jump out of instinct. And there we go! 7 emeralds! Baby!
So to answer your question, yes, we have found all 7 Chaos Emeralds.
Well, Horizon Jim will be happy. So there we go, we don't have to worry about emeralds anymore, and that is the last we'll probably end up seeing of Tails and Knuckles. We may pop by them every now and again, but we are not giving them our rings. They're too expensive, their rates are too damn high.
What happens if we do?
Well, if you collect 50, you actually go into another special stage. And at the end of the special stage, you get an extra life instead of another Chaos Emerald.
Extra life hype?
Well, if there is hype for it, I may grab one more extra life just to be sure. You can't actually go above 9 lives in this game, I've tried.
Huh?
No, you can only go up to 9 in this game.
That's lame.
It's weird. I never quite understood that myself, but yeah. I've never found myself in need of more than 9 anyway, so I guess it's not so bad.
Okay.
Well, there's Knuckles, by the way, so there you go.
Bye Knuckles, bye Knuckles. So, as I am totally paying attention to your run while reading this Wikipedia page, I come across something interesting here.
Do tell.
Apparently at Jack in the Box fast food restaurants, copies of the PC version of this game were given away as bonuses in kids' meals.
Really?
Yes!
I'm not sure whether that's good or bad.
That's pretty hardcore. I mean, kids' meals nowadays just give you a choking hazard, but could you imagine back in the day, you just get your kids' meal and get Sonic 3D Blast?
I think people would rather choke on the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I got 3D Blast with my cheeseburger, I would return it and say, can I just get the girl's toy?
Oh dear. Then again, they had some pretty good toys from time to time, I'm not gonna lie.
My favorite was the Pokemon ones from Burger King until some kid decided to choke himself with them and ruin it for the rest of us.
Health and safety always ruins things.
Yeah.
So you may have noticed I actually died at one point, and I can't quite explain why. My only explanation is I somehow put myself into an Instagib situation.
Oh, Oh, so the failed special stage doesn't count as a death?
I don't think so. I don't think you lose lives if you fail a special stage.
I don't think Deathbot counted it either, so I think we're good.
Yeah, cool. Okay, this guy takes a lot of hits, and also is surrounded completely by this nonsense here. This is actually a boss that gets easier the more you hit him. He gets faster, sure, but where you can hit him becomes a lot easier to figure out.
And
So yeah, I actually prefer it after I've hit him a few times.
This
Come on.
platform appears to be raised. Can you fall off it?
No. There's a wall here, so you can't actually fall off. Like I
invisible
said, there is absolutely no bottomless pits in this game.
Hooray!
Oh, bloody hellfire. I may end up dying here if I'm not careful.
Don't die, Volk. Don't die, Volk. Don't die!
Not too much pressure.
Um,
I'm nearly
Okay,
one
so-
man.
so the little gun thingies that are rotating them, they're going away every time you hit them, correct? Or
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Every time you hit him, it takes one away. And that's how you can tell how many times you've hit him. You have to hit him 8 times in order to defeat him.
I love when bosses have a life bar, but it's not, a literal life bar. It's just some way you can indicate health.
Yeah, you just gotta look at the collateral damage you're causing.
Yeah.
I quite like this stage as well. It's
I
probably
like the
one of
Saturn
my...
version.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite lava stages. Obviously, my absolute favorite being Lava Reef. But
Yeah, of
this
course.
one's pretty good too. I mean, for the first 3D game, they did a superb job of it. Now, Knuckles is actually behind this wall, but we don't have enough rings anyway, so we're just going to ignore him.
And we're not the fire pits, not insta-death pits.
No, you just take a bit of damage.
Okay.
And if you have the fire shield, well, you're completely immune to it, so... that's a hand.
Hooray!
Oh yeah, another thing you may notice is that the purple flicky has actually been replaced by a second red flicky, which I'm assuming is the purple flicky, but on fire.
Oh Jesus, no!
So yeah, the stage literally sets fire to the flickies. But they don't seem to mind, they're happy enough.
Yeah, it's a Phoenix flicky.
Phoenix flicky... That's actually one thing I quite liked when I noticed it the first time. I thought, oh, that's a really nice touch. I don't know if it was deliberate or not, though. I may need some citation on that one, but I don't think it was accidental.
I think the burning flicky is just because, like I said before, is palette-wise.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because it's pretty much the exact same texture as the lava itself, so I'm pretty sure the purple flicky's color is tied to something in the background, and because they have lava everywhere, the flicky turns that color.
Actually, you mentioned that, and in the hack for this that gives you Super 3D Sonic, it actually turns the water yellow.
Huh. Well, yeah, because why color water and color Sonic when you can just put them on the same color layer?
Yep. 16-bit gaming at its finest. Okay, I think there's actually a thing in the middle here. Yep, there we go. I think that gives us another fire shield. You get quite a lot of opportunities to get fire shields in this game, so if you lose one, it's not necessarily the end of the world. If you manage to get through the level enough, you should be able to find another one later on in the zone, so... Oh, and just as I say that, I lose it straight away.
Wow. Bravo.
You know, I try.
What is with video games and this concept of a fire jump rope?
I have no idea, like, it doesn't even seem feasibly possible.
I think
It's like,
we-
hey, we're just gonna have a spinning fire jump rope. That'll go right down with the kids.
Because that was totally not my favorite Mario Party minigame. That I wouldn't die right away because I was really bad at it. No, why would you ask that?
There we go, we're at the end of the level. And a Phoenix Flicky to finish things off. Another thing I forgot to mention were these emblems that you collect on the springs. If you collect... can't remember if it's 5 or 10, but if you collect enough of them, you get a continue. I don't think we've got quite enough yet, but I imagine we're pretty close by now.
Do you start with any continues?
I don't believe so now. One thing I am going to do here is deliberately walk across lava and get myself a fire shield.
Just gonna casually walk over
I
lava.
would walk
Sure,
on
no
lava just to be with you. And invincibility television for good measure. Alright.
Hooray!
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, bloody hell. Too high, apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, overall this game isn't hard. I mean, the controls are a mess, sure, but the game itself is merciful enough that it never seems like it's unfair. Like, sometimes you'll get that odd thing, oh, what the hell? But aside from that, the game isn't exactly hard enough where it's just absolutely impossible to complete. So I guess the ease of the game kinda makes up for the bad controls, but it's still fairly inexcusable if I'm honest.
So the game's difficult, but for entirely different reasons. You're fighting against yourself and your own boredom.
Yep, you're fighting against yourself. That is absolutely what is going on.
So Sonic 3D Blast is an exercise in introspection.
Pretty much, yeah. I'd say that's a very accurate assessment.
So if you ever wondered, am I a patient person? Can I take challenges that drain me and my soul? Or do I just quit like a little baby? Then maybe you should play Sonic 3D Blast and find the answer to who you are.
Yep. It's a look into yourself.
Yes.
Here we go. I think we're almost done on this particular act. Just gotta find the exit. Oh, no, we just came from that. Luckily we got the fire shield, so if we happen to walk across any lava, it's no big deal.
Yeah,
Yep, there we go. We're at the end. And now we gotta go through Act 3. After we find one more flicky. Where are you? Ah, there you are. Not far away, so no big. With the next boss, I'm probably going to try a similar strategy to what I did in Rusty Ruin. So, hopefully that'll work out reasonably well, but there's enough rings around, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Look at that.
So, what's up with the game's title? Like, this. Not only did this game have multiple versions, but then even within the versions, there were different titles.
That is correct. The Mega Drive version is generally referred to as Flicky's Island, and then the Saturn and PC version are generally referred to as 3D Blast. And there we go, we just defeated the 5th boss in 20 seconds, roughly.
Wow, I'm so happy. This makes up for your failures.
Not quite. I'm still intent on going back there and fixing that particular hiccup.
You better.
Okay, but this is where the use of this shield is made a bit more apparent. Well, I say that and then I lose it straight away because of the controls. Woo!
Hooray!
Yeah, you get more turrets for your troubles as well. They're annoying. Because you gotta do this and try and get your flickies back. Get back here. Oh, bloody hell. There we go.
Did the flickies ever get like their own spot? Like not even just their own game, but just were they ever spotlighted after this game, or were they pretty much dropped off the face of the earth?
No, there was actually a game that was simply called Flicky. And it plays a lot like, I think a game was called Joust.
Huh.
It was like a it's like based off a really old game, and it's one of the few other games that actually features the flickies as like a main thing. Yeah, here we go. So, these would normally hurt you if you stood on these for too long, but since I've got this shield, they don't harm me at all. But of course, since there's no real electricity-based things until this point, you don't actually know that. So for like the first 5 zones, you're wondering, what the hell's the point in this shield?
To take a hit.
Well, that's what you'd think, and then all of a sudden you get this whole other use for it, and it's like, oh wow! It's like a whole new game.
Hooray!
Yeah, if Flicky goes into the fans, they also have fun times going up them.
this may not be a good thing to say, but those parts where you're sort of in this pinball form and then you're just bouncing off the walls going down the level itself, those kind of remind me of Sonic Labyrinth.
Yeah, it does a little
Yes. Yes, I don't know anything about 3D Blast, but oh boy, do I know about Labyrinth.
bit. Ooh, that's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, let me see what day that's gonna be on, actually. That will be, so again, using our handy-dandy marathon site.
hfc/marathons.co.uk, excellent site made by our very own Digi. Well worth checking out if you're keeping up with the marathon.
Yep, so everyone watch it. Here we go. That will be played on August the 11th at 11 p.m. BST. Played by Drazer. Ha
Ah, poor Drazer.
I mean, you're doing a very wonderful thing for the kids, Drazer.
I think anybody who's taking up like Chronicles and 06 and things like that are all doing a superb thing by agreeing to play those games. I mean, some people argue that I do this, but I honestly don't find it that much of a big deal, to be honest.
Okay. $5 from Unknown says, gotta go fast in isometric? Oh god.
Gotta go isometric, I like that. That's a good one.
Oh god, it's like
I think I'm
Sonic
keeping that
Labyrinth
one for later use.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. It's like Sonic Labyrinth all over again. Still, let's see if we can't speed up the donations for the kids some. I'll let you gents decide which incentive to support with these dollars. Keep it up. You're doing great. We'll pretend dying in the special stage didn't happen. It'll be our little secret. Crunchy Lex.
These guys know what's up. He knows what is up.
Alright, so $5.
Yep, that will be going towards Team Chaotix for Sonic Heroes then.
So, yeah.
Right, we're coming up towards the home stretch now, so we got a couple more difficult. We got one more tricky boss to go, one downright hard boss, and then one kind of easy slog.
Oh no.
This stage is actually pretty damn tricky as well. All the flickies are pretty damn well spread out, to say the least.
How big would you say these stages are?
I wouldn't say they're too huge. I think the way they're segmented makes them appear bigger than they actually are sometimes, but there are some stages in particular that are really, really big, like Rusty Ruins Act 2. That's a particularly big one.
And so, relatively, would you say that the levels are too big, too small, just the right amount? If you could change the size, what would you do?
I would say there are a couple of levels that maybe overstay their welcome. I would say Rusty Ruins was probably a bit too big, but not by much. I think maybe the first act of that zone could have done with one less section, but apart from that, the size of each zone is pretty fair. I mean, some of the shorter ones make up for it by the particular challenge that they bring.
Okay.
Alright, so now we need to veer as far to the left as we possibly can. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get down here, power up a spin dash, and jump for my goddamn life.
If nothing else, for your reputation.
Yep. Right, so that's where the goal ring is, so we need to go back again. So let's just go right there. Sometimes it's better just to go all the way back down and just try again. May take a little bit more time, but it's just way easier than dealing with the frustration of moving platforms. Yeah, that's another tip I'd give. Move moving platforms anywhere you possibly can. Generally speaking, there's usually a way to avoid them all, but sometimes you just can't help it. But just avoid as many as you can. Save your frustrations.
Isometric platform does not work. Like, okay, isometric gameplay can work and has worked, even in recent games and stuff, but platforming in isometric does not work.
It really doesn't.
So I would definitely say when people, like, when I hear the complaints about this game, when one of the points is just, it's isometric, it's like, that doesn't really, to me, count as a con. That's just a fact. That's like saying it's in third person. It's like, okay.
That's the thing, though. If they tightened up the controls and maybe calmed it down with a bit with the whole fetch quest thing, it could have been a really, really good game, and I say this to everybody. Like, it's not an extremely terrible game, it's just unfortunate that the controls let it down in such a way that it really brings down the entire game hardcore.
So playtesting would have saved this game, essentially.
Maybe. I think maybe because isometric was a very new thing back then as well, maybe if they'd given it a bit more time just to sort of polish it up, I reckon it could have worked out really damn well. Ah, there we go, finally got it.
Hooray!
I think there's another shield around here. Oh no, there's rings. That's just as good, I suppose.
I like how even within Eggman's space, there's checkerboard floors.
Oh, just wait until we get to Panic Puppet.
Oh, so wait, is this supposed to be space? I thought... Or am I wrong?
I think this is like meant to be a factory or something like that. I don't think it's space.
Okay, so this is just the Smithy dimension. Gotcha.
Yeah, don't fall for the fact that the fans are there. If you use the fans to try and get over the spikes, you will get hurt. So do the right thing, just jump over them.
So don't get hurt, kids.
Sonic says.
Sonic says.
Kids, there's nothing more cool than not getting spiked, so don't do that, okay?
That's how, like, I feel like that's how they would probably do Sonic Says if they were to ever do them with the modern attitude now.
I have a guilty pleasure of watching the Set AM cartoon YouTube poops, and there was one where they did a Sonic Says, and it goes, "Kids, you're not important, you're not cool, you're dumb. No one likes you because you have difficulty learning how to read. And if you don't like it, that's too bad." And then it goes, "So what do? First, you drink liquor. Then, you touch a police officer."
What the hell?
It is well worth watching if you've not seen it before. It is amazing. YouTube poops featuring Dr. Robotnik are like the best things in the damn world, in my honest opinion.
Oh my god. I think the two best series for YouTube poops are Sonic cartoons and King of the Hill.
Zelda CGI games are up there as well, in my opinion.
I think it's just that I've seen too many and it's always the same joke.
Yeah, I guess so. Although I have to admit I rather like Dinner Blaster.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, if I were to have watched, like, the original and have never heard the jokes a billion times, I'd be like, yeah, this is objectively funny, but...
Yeah, it's a bit overdone. I mean, with Robotnik, there's just so much you have to work with.
I know, whereas, like, the CDI games, that was it. You just had my boy. So that's all the king is ever going to say. He's never gonna say something as intricate as that.
Oh, dear. I remember a, well, Urinating Tree kinda did a YouTube poop on it, but he called it part of his Half-Assed Fiesta series. And he did one of the Zelda CDI games where, the king sells off Link to the peddler in order to get, cable TV.
That's sick.
And then he gets a webcam and attempts to make, YouTube videos, which get 1 star.
Oh my.
So yeah, it was one of the, videos I remember back when the star system was in place in YouTube. "Zelda! Some noob banned 1 star my video for no reason. I'm going up to Gammon to lay down the ban hammer."
Nice. So this is a Sonic Advance 2 boss fight. You can tell because we are constantly running.
Yep. And making sure we don't fall into the spiky blocks. That would be absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this one's exactly hard, but sometimes you can get, dicked over by the wonky hitbox. But I mean, as long as you sort of stay to one side and then the other, you won't get hit by the blocks. And if you're just patient enough to wait until he stops attacking, it's a pretty easy boss fight overall. But you gotta be used to it. Just stay to one side, and you'll be fine.
Are there any boss fights where Eggman hits himself?
No, actually there isn't.
Kudos, Eggman, Robotnik Man. You are learning.
Yeah, it's actually quite odd how he's actually learning to not make machines that undo themselves. Alright, so now we got Panic Puppet hype going on.
Hype. Wasn't this music used in Sonic Adventure?
No, this is actually the music this was used for the intro sequence for the game, but it may well be used in Sonic Adventure as well. I can't remember what stage. I was watching Sonic Adventure 1 during the marathon.
Wasn't it the amusement park thingy? The one for cute couples?
Yeah, that was it. Sorry, I was just trying to remember them for a second. Wait, what's that thing? And it was like,
What?
yes, that is right, that's right. I watched the thing, honestly.
So
Okay,
you're
this
gonna
is
come with
actually
me?
one thing
You're going
to.
with me, right?
Yep. This is actually the last stage where you have to rescue Flickies. The second act of this stage is actually a good old classic platforming slog to the end. And there's a lot more bandits to make up for it, and a lot more traps that dick you over to make up for it. Because, you know, Sonic can't have an easy ride. We just can't have that.
Why can't Tails help us?
He's too busy standing around wondering where Sonic is. It's like, the bitch was meant to be here by my rings ages ago.
How did they even teleport you to the special stage?
I have no idea, honestly.
Why
It's
don't
something
they
that
just tell
I
Sonic
think
to
that's
the
something that
special
needs to be
stage?
explained.
Yes, yes.
Because surely if they
I'm
can,
gonna...
surely if they can take you to the special stages, they can just sort of go, here you go, here's the emerald in exchange for these 50 rings.
But then that would just kind of make it Mario Party-esque.
Yeah, I guess so. Robotnik gets to swap Chaos Emeralds with Sonic after he gets all 7.
Robotnik communism.
Yep. Mario Party.
I'm,
The ultimate ruiner of friendships.
I'm gonna do that when I go to any sort of Sonic-related thing. Just go to everyone who works for Sega. It's like, why does this happen? Why does Knuckles and Tails teleport him to the special stage? How do they do that? And just ask them that. Like,
I think I remember during Summer of Sonic. I can't remember exactly what it was, but somebody asked a similar question, and in the end, Yuji Naka just went, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. It was pretty bad." I can't remember what it was. I'll have to see if I can remember it.
It could be any countless thing in this series that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, pretty much. It was one particular thing that's very, very iconic.
Would it have anything to do with that last slide that said, "Are you making Sonic Adventure 3?" No.
No. I don't think it was
Like,
that.
when is
It was a particular
when is
mechanic.
Shenmue coming out? Never.
I just don't remember where this last Flicky is. Because the Flickies aren't actually contained in the Bandits in this stage. You actually have to find them inside these test tubes.
Huh.
The Bandits are just fodder. I mean, you can get rid of them, but, you know.
Does the game tell you? Does the game be like, "Hey yo, we changing the rules up in this bitch"?
No, not entirely. Although it does do the sensible thing. It puts the Bandit there, and then nearby it has the Flicky in the test tube. So it's sort of saying, hey, okay, we're showing you that the Bandits no longer contain the Flickies, and you're going to have to break them out of these little devices here. So they kind of tell you, but they don't directly tell you.
Gotcha.
They just sort of give you the situation handily. See if we can coax this mine into exploding. And let's go ahead and find this last Flicky.
Is this the last Flicky, last block, or do we still have more?
I think there's only one segment, so I think after we find this one Flicky, it'll take us to the next stage, and then after that, no more Flickies. Well, at least no more Flickies to find. The Flickies will still be around.
No more Flickies, then what was the point?
So no more Flickies ever again.
It's like you bring all the Flickies and they just all spontaneously combust before Sonic puts his hands in his face, like, why? All the wasted time! What was it for?
Calm down, calm down. Okay, apparently we missed a Flicky somewhere, so we're gonna have to try and find him.
I am seriously getting Smithy Factory vibes. I was getting them last level and I'm getting them again.
I suppose that makes sense.
What I'm trying to say is I'm probably gonna end up playing Super Mario RPG after we're done with this.
Ah, yes. Great game, great game. Oh, there's that last Flicky. I remember now. It's because I skipped that platforming section, so we go up here. So you could go towards the moving platform bullshit over there, or you can just go to the top the long way and not have to bother with it at all. Guess what option I chose?
The one that causes us all less headaches.
Yep.
Hooray!
Remember, moving platforms in a 3D isometric game like this are terrible. Do not be dealing with that.
Don't ever do it.
No, it's bad for you. I don't understand why they had to make this escalator sequence quite this long, either. At least the elevator music's good though.
This is probably something like not all that big, but I want to commend the shading in the floor. Just because if anyone knows about perspective drawing, something being concave and convex can be confused with each other if you don't have proper shading. Sort of like, you know, if you drew those 3D boxes, either side could be the front. And when I saw the isometric deal with this game, I really thought, oh shit, there's probably a lot of like holes in the ground that look like hills and hills that look like holes, but no, they did a really good job in properly shading the perspective.
Yeah, like
so
I said,
that,
the game isn't all terrible. Like, they
no,
did a
I'm not
phenomenal
saying-
job of it visually and making it look nice. And even the gameplay mechanics ain't bad. I mean, it's not what we're used to with Sonic, but it's different, and I commend them for trying it, but... The controls, man!
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. Like, you've convinced me that this game just seems meh. Not bad, not great, just meh. But like that is a really, really huge thing. Is to me at least is that the shading is so good that you don't have any sort of perspective issues. Obviously, you know, when it comes to like hitting enemies, then there's perspective issues. Like, am I lined up with this guy or not? Yeah, there's that. But at least what the terrain is good. And oh wait,
You just saw the giant Robotnik, didn't you?
yes. What?
Well, just you wait. Well, this was the part I was waiting for, but it's the end of this stage that will really get you.
What the fuck?
Well, I knew Robotnik was an egotist, but I didn't quite imagine it was that bad.
Huh? Dude, you can make theme parks for yourself, that's cool and all, but what?
Oh, there we go. This might make things a bit easier, possibly. No, not quite. Well, actually it did, kind of. Oh yeah, pitfalls here, so be careful.
You lied to me.
And here we go.
Lies.
We enter Act 3 by going through Robotnik's nose.
I can think of a number of other holes that are a less better alternative than the nose, so we'll go with that.
Yeah, let's not get into that. Okay, this is probably the hardest boss in the game, so I may need to concentrate a little bit here.
It's a pillar.
Yeah, this is a multi-part boss fight, so he'll have 3 variations of weaponry like this. Now let's go to this side for a bit. Yeah, you can't hit him directly. There's these little blue lights that blink, and you've got to hit those in order to actually damage him. And you actually damage each individual arm. So after hit each arm 4 times, keep in mind they will still damage you whilst they're on the floor. You will deactivate it. So you got to deactivate both arms, and then you move on to the next part. And there's 3 in all.
And so, would you say this is like the penultimate boss or something?
Yeah, this, if you didn't collect all the emeralds, this would be the final boss.
Okay. So then I guess I want to remind everyone that 3D Blast will be ending soon. So as far as I know, next is still going to be Sonic Advance 2.
I think it's Adventure. Advance 2 was yesterday.
Adventure, yeah. It's SA2. There you go. Whichever
It's
one
a
you
new
want.
venture, la la.
La 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 la. But yeah, so if you guys wanted to donate during 3D Blast, wanted to shout out Isometric or anything else 3D Blast related, donate now. We'll read them out. But,
Okay, this is the
if
hardest
not-
part right here. You have to time this
not-
just right. It could either be the easiest boss fight, part of the boss fight, or it could be the hardest, just because of those damn bouncing balls. Because the balls blink, the lights blink, and the longer you let it go on for, the more bouncing balls you get for your trouble. So obviously you want to try and get rid of those as quickly as possible, and I might end up dying here if I'm not careful. Got it! Yes!
Yeah.
I always die at that part normally, but this is the first time I actually got through it first time. So here we go. Can we have some final stage hype, everybody?
Yo.
We need some final stage hype up in here.
I know just the way. I know exactly what to do in this situation. Now is my chance. I get to contribute.
Oh god, what am I in for? So this is the Tron stage.
Oh, that looks less intimidating than a giant pillar.
It kind of does. The idea is you get very limited rings, and you have to go through all of these various phases. So, as you can tell, we just finished with a standard finger laser attack, courtesy of Dr. Victor Von Doom. And now we got the homing fire again, because, you know, that hasn't been overused enough in this damn game. And then
You
he comes...
will not survive!
Yeah, they kind of overuse that. And every time you go through one of these phases, he'll come forward for a short time. And if you don't actually hit him, you'll have to go through this again. Just the particular phase that you're on. You don't have to do the whole thing over again. That would just be insane.
Okay, so the final boss has Rayman hands.
Yep, we got the Rayman hands.
Interesting. You know, they could have just put this in space. It would have been pretty cool, you know, just put... Oh, it is in space. Shit, wait, is this a computer or space?
It's computer space!
Oh my god!
So basically, there's 5 different attack patterns, and you have to go through each of those twice in order to defeat him. So we're doing the missiles on the floor attack now. And the next one's the bouncing ball attack, which they save right for the end is actually the easiest. You literally stay in this corner, the balls don't hit you. Observe.
I can see, because you're like barely off the level. What the hell? Genius! I love
And
it.
then we hit him from the side. And there we go, that's the first part. I like the setting for the final boss, but it is a bit easy once you actually get used to him. Alright, we can collect all these rings now, because this will be the last time we get to collect them.
I mean, nothing I've seen here looks bad.
No, like I said, the game in general isn't hard. Like, there are some aspects, like, I would actually say the penultimate boss is probably the hardest. Just because of
Yeah.
that bouncing ball section. Because the longer you let him bounce those balls around for, the way harder it gets, because you could either do what I was doing and try and hit him as soon as he was starting his attack and maybe only get one, but if you miss, or whatever, then obviously missed.
Yeah, he did a thing where he had like his hands flat on the ground, and it kind of reminded me of the second to last boss in Sonic 3 and Knuckles,
Yeah, definitely.
where you can like spin dash in between his fingers and stuff. So that's also kind of cool with this game. That even if it wasn't intentional, I feel like that's a reference.
Yeah, they had a lot of good ideas in there, and they threw in a lot of good mechanics in there. It's just that perhaps they were a bit too easy. Like, they could have made this a lot more challenging.
Yeah, but with the hard controls, then this would have been rage-inducing.
Oh yeah, quite possibly. Although honestly, you get so little space to move around anyway, the controls don't really feel that bad. Just because you can't go that far anyway, and there's no tricky platforming to do. All you're doing is just running around and avoiding things, and then you hit Robotnik every now and again.
The only way to make shitty controls feel good is to not move at all.
Yeah, just limit the amount of space you can move around. It will all be fine. Here we go. Alright. One more hit, and we are finitoed. And what I'll probably end up doing is I'll just give that second stage boss a try once again after the credits. Here we go. 3, 4. Here we go. Kids!
Hurrah!
And there we go. That is Sonic 3D Blast complete. And we shall let the credits roll as well. 4 minutes. That's about average. Thank you very much.
Played a great game.
Yeah, like I said, it's a love-hate relationship. I like the game. It hates me. But it's all for the kids, so it doesn't matter. And more fanfic gag-inducing text for your enjoyment. Sonic fights for his friends. His friends are birds.
For freedom!
Stars and Stripes! No, wait, that's the wrong game.
Oh no.
I quite like the credit music as well. The music in general is great. The graphics are good. The special stages in the Saturn version are great. In the Mega Drive version, they're a bit easy. The controls are awful. And the hunting game mechanic, while interesting, I think they should have maybe thrown in some classic Sonic-style gaming of just doing a bunch of platforming and get to the goal. So overall, the controls let it down a huge amount, but there is a good game in there somewhere. And that is my full opinion of Sonic 3D Blast for those of you who wanted it.